Welcome to the Washdown podcast, episode 64. And tonight we are talking with police officers Matt Blome and Brian Caniglia. And we had a great conversation, talked about a lot of interesting stuff. Those guys have some great stories. So I hope you enjoy the episode. We had a great time shooting it. Also, I just want to reiterate, if you are having a problem and struggling, reach out. The resources are out there. And if you know somebody that's struggling, reach out to them. Be that peer support person for them. Doesn't have to be, official or whatever, but just reach out. So anyway, here we go. Episode 64 of the Washdown podcast with police officers Matt Blome and Brian Caniglia.
Here to my left.
If you want to, yeah.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah, that's great.
Officer Blue.
At least you pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, Blome.
Y'all ready for this? Would we have to pay copyright if we had like the Chicago Bulls entry music?
Oh shit, yeah.
Probably.
Damn it.
Yeah. I don't think the $5 that we've made off this podcast so far would cover that.
I don't think we tell them, and we just kind of skirt that under.
But see, the problem is they'll strip all your sound. Like they won't just strip that; they'll strip the whole thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Then you just get it's just rude. Just take the video down.
Yeah.
Like they do that shit on TikTok all the time, and I'm scrolling. And it's like this video has no sound. I'm like, well, then just take it down.
Yeah.
But no, the video is still fine. It's just you can't have the audio.
Yeah. Like, here, look at this hot girl, but don't touch her. Don't. In fact, don't even look at it.
Holy shit. Oh, all right. Well, guys, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So why don't we go ahead and you guys, or are you going to do the introduction?
No, I'll.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sitting to my left, over here, standing at 6'2", 200 pounds.
No, he's way more than 200.
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
6'4", 252, actually.
6'4", 252. Officer. Bloom.
God, you're such a tool.
Thank you. His first name's Matt or Matthew. I guess if he's in trouble, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Oh, did you get the middle initial too?
I don't even know.
Oh,
what that
it was
is.
it was Matthew Thomas. That was usually my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I am Brian Caniglia, standing at a
5'2".
sultry 5'4" or 6, 5'6" usually. Definitely not 5'4". I'm not Kevin Hart height. 160 pounds. I don't know if that does that.
Soaking wet vest and all, right?
Yeah, that was me in like third grade.
I'm trying to lose a little weight too. Get a little leaner.
Yeah.
Well, that's just no fun.
what? Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's,
You do you, honey.
Yeah.
You do you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Eventually someone always makes poor life choices. At some point in your life that happens, and that's a bad one.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Maybe I should come by your guys' station, get some more food.
Probably. We always seem to have extra.
Extra food? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
At
Just
least,
sneak in during one of our mini naps.
yeah.
You said it, not me.
Hey, 24-hour shift, you better take a nap.
It's true.
So.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that.
You guys' schedule kind of trips me out, though. Like, I can't get a handle on it. And, we have firefighters, too, that work the Berkeley schedule that I can't understand that
But theirs
one either.
isn't even like that. It's like...
Yeah.
It changes every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally rotating.
Every week. Like 1 week we'll have 4 weeks of 5 on, 3 off.
Yes.
And then 3 weeks of 4 on, 4 off.
Yeah, but
So
it's
like
only 4 off. It's not 3 weeks of 4 on. It's only 2 weeks of 4 on.
Well,
It's kind of dumb because you're like, I enjoy my 40-hour weeks, my 50-hour weeks. That 5th day, it's brutal.
yeah, in the middle of that 4th day, you're just like, damn.
Yeah,
I got to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're just done.
But like 1 week you'll have like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, and then the next week you'll be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then the next week
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Then you
Do you
go
guys
into the 4s.
alternate nights and days, or is it
No.
always?
No, I was on PMs for years here. Good, 8 years. Now I'm day shift.
Okay.
Love it. So
Awesome.
my day starts at 6:30. I'm up at 4:45. Do
And
all
that-
that good stuff.
Get a good workout in.
Yeah,
Call it.
that's called coffee. Yeah,
I get up and go work out. He just gets his coffee.
yeah.
He's still taller than you.
That's true. That's why I don't drink coffee, because I'm expecting a growth spurt one day at 35. I think it'll
You
come.
know what? Keep hope alive.
I know. You have to.
Oh, that's awesome. It's funny though, because you say that. Like my cousin
Mm-hmm.
is about your size.
Yeah.
Maybe he might even be a little bit shorter. And for the longest time, like his ambition in life, until he was probably a teenager, he wanted to be a sumo wrestler. That was like his thing.
We all have our callings.
Yeah.
We
And
do.
He didn't quite make it.
No. Yes.
So anyway, we'll start with you, Matt. What got you into law enforcement? Just kind of give us your background, your story.
See, and I've been asked that many times, and I still don't have a true answer.
You were drunk when you signed up.
Kind of a dare, I guess. No, it was back in 2000. I was running a tire shop up north, in a little town, and I literally woke up on a Sunday and I read the paper for you younger cats.
I'm 35. I'm not that.
It was, yeah, okay.
God, you guys are old.
It was,
James, shut up.
What?
Don't let this face fool you, okay?
yeah, especially the hair.
Right.
Yeah. No, the what was it? The Sunday paper saw an ad in it for law enforcement for Missouri Western there in St. Joe for the academy. So I was like, this might be all right. So I went down, drove to St. Joe, and talked to those guys, and shoot, a couple months later, I was in the academy. So I started, I guess you'd call it a career. 2001 was the first. February 12th, 2001 was the first day in uniform. So started in a small town up in Maryville and worked out several years. And it was great because we got to do everything. So we were the patrolmen. We were crime scene. We did some of our own investigations. I mean, we only had 2 detectives there. So, I mean, we got to see it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
So it was great experience. So then graduated to the big city life. And then took a break from law enforcement in 2007. Went to Iraq for a year.
It's a nice vacation spot about that time.
Yeah. Downtown Baghdad. It was great. It was great. It
Just clubbing and
It was a very humbling experience though. But took a break, signed up, did that. I was part of a police transition team. I went over there to actually train the Iraqi National Police. I was a civilian through different federal contracts. So the initial boss of me was the DOD, the Department of Defense. And I was embedded with the Army. And, did everything with them. I wore their exact same uniform. Mine just said U.S. Police instead of U.S. Army. And, it's hard to explain in just a short time. There's so many mahallas are like neighborhoods, and there's like a little police division in every little neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I was in charge of the police guys, in downtown Baghdad. And that was very interesting. So one of the police stations that I had, I think there's like 138 police officers. And I was in charge of kind of like 5 of them. And out of those 5, I think 2 of them were actually Iraqi police officers. 3 of them just came off the streets and said, my family has been murdered by the insurgency. I want to help you go kill those guys. I'm like, come on. Let's go.
well,
See that little blue truck? Hop in it and follow us. So, and then we would do some on-site training, and then we'd go on patrols with them, mounted and dismounted. So, we were kind of there to win the public back with those guys. Like, here's the face of your Iraqi National Police to the civilians on the street, and we're like, all right, go win the people back. So did that for a while, part of a warrant task force over there. Was assigned to a different squad. Did many fun things. Very humbling. Very humbling.
I would imagine that would be very interesting to try to reestablish a police force in the middle of a war zone. It's like, cops are here. We don't care.
Yeah. No, it was difficult at times, but then you'd hit some of those mahalas where the older generation that was born and raised and lived through the Saddam Hussein era were like, we're done with that. We want something new. So they welcomed U.S. forces and the coalition forces. They welcomed the Iraqi National Police there, and then a large majority, the very outspoken ones, were like, no, we don't want you here. But then again, you're in the middle of a holy war. You had the Sunnis and the Shiites. I mean, they were bombing each other and killing each other left and right, to the point where we'd step back and like, all right, let them do it. Whoever wins, we'll go deal with that later. So,
Hey, you put that rocket launcher down.
Yeah.
Put it down. No.
yeah.
Don't you reload it. No.
Yeah.
I can't even, I can't even imagine that. I mean, I get it, winning the hearts and minds, reestablish, a sense of normalcy and all that stuff, but that must have been just like almost an impossible task.
Every day you were beating the same dead horse.
Yeah.
If that dead horse wasn't going to blow up on the side of the road. Because they would kill their animals, their dogs, their horses, their goats, and lay them on the side of the road and stuff them full of bombs and wait for us to drive through. And they'd detonate it. And then you had the IEDs and the EFPs, which is a copper-plated explosion that would melt armor prior to contact. It was that hot.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, they're not idiots over there by any means.
What? No. They've been fighting for a long time.
Long time. Yeah, long time. But my second day there, we were getting sniped. We were at a checkpoint because some of the Army guys that I was with, they had to check on the Iraqi Army at different checkpoints and within Baghdad. And it was kind of cool because all the streets were named off of sports teams or alcohol. So like the first,
military.
yeah. So like the first crew that came in there in 2003, we're like, we can't pronounce this street. We don't know what this is. So they're like, we're going to call this Coors. And then Coors would go up to Route Texas. And then Texas, they did have a main street, but then you'd have Packers and Vikings would meet at MV, and you were always going to get shot at there. I mean, they had Miller.
That's the rivalry, so I mean, it makes sense.
And like one of the hot routes was Budweiser.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you were at the intersection of Budweiser and Kansas, where I was at that second day, and I'm not even in fatigues yet. Like, I don't even have BDUs on. So I'm just in all khaki. Just, hey, look at the dumb civilian.
Yeah. Stuck out like a sore thumb.
So I get out with that crew. And, I mean, when I got there, these young cats, when I say young cats, I think all the gunners, the oldest one was like maybe 20. They did 16 months. There's a couple of those guys that did their 19th and 20th birthday in Baghdad.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I get there, I think it was a week prior, their connexes were filled up. They're going to ship out, go home. And then they got the orders like, no, you're going to stay a couple more months.
Yeah.
So then here comes this guy. I'm like, let's go make a difference. And they're just like, damn. But they did. I mean, they did their job. So the point is that we get there, they're doing their thing, and you can hear the gunfire. You can hear a couple little pops. And it was hitting the T-walls, big cement walls. And I'm kind of hunkered down, standing there by the sergeant. I'm like, what the heck is going on? They're like, we'll pass. I was like, what is going on? Seriously? Why am I here? Like, this is dumb.
Questioning those life choices.
Yes.
I have fucked up.
Yes. So then we did our thing. Another crew came in and the attack air, a couple of Apaches, and Blackhawks came in, and it was on an old abandoned hotel. Shocker. Like on the 6th, 7th floor of this hotel, and they just blew the shit out of it. So we're like, oh, we stand up, and everybody's grabbing their warm bottles of water and their Iraqi cigarettes, and like, all right, now what? Let's go on to the next one. So it was. I remember that night because I lived with those guys, and the sergeant took an old saying out of Band of Brothers, when Blythe is in that foxhole, and that I can't remember the lieutenant that came up to him, Spears. Just like, you accept the fact that you're already dead, and you'll be able to function as a soldier. So when you wake up, you're dead. Just pretend that your life is going to end today, and you'll be able to function. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've heard. But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And then did that 13 training here in the States for a month, and then a year over there, and came back and moved to Colorado. Goofed off a little bit. And then my old boss called me and says, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He's like, you want to go to Afghanistan? I was like, when do we leave? So then I was in Kandahar. Did that for 7 months. Pretty much the same thing. 2 different wars. Because in Iraq we had President Bush. So the rules of engagement were a lot different than Obama in office when I was in Afghanistan. But very humbling nonetheless. Met great guys, still good friends with those guys. So, and then came back, and now here I sit. Then reapplied. Now had to go through another academy. I think I was I was the second oldest in the second academy. And then, 10 years later, here I sit.
Yeah. I saw on, the little bio that I had just sent me that you're a CIT officer.
Yes.
So is that, and I've talked to a couple of people and I don't remember, but is that like normal, like standard for you guys now, everybody going through it? Or, because I went through the CIT class probably 15 years ago with some of you guys, but it was a volunteer thing.
In 2000, when I went through my first academy, it wasn't CIT then. I mean, that was 21 years ago. It was behavioral health and something else. I can't really remember what it was called. You had that training, but I think law enforcement has kind of brought that spectrum down to what we could focus on. It'll be 30 years coming up in May, 30-year anniversary, where a dear friend of mine back in my hometown shot and killed himself. I've seen, growing up on an Iowa farm boy, seen a lot of great things, but a lot of death. And then with my buddy taking his life I was 15. I'm like, nobody knew what even suicide was then. Like where I grew up. Yeah. And I've lost pretty much all the close buddies I grew up with. I mean, they're all gone. One killed himself. One was killed in a car accident. Another one at 32 had a heart attack. So when I came to Kansas City and started this, they offered CIT classes. So I took the basic, the advanced, the children's, the juvenile CIT, and then the veterans. And that was by far the best course I had.
So they've expanded it obviously since.
Yes. Since now I don't know what they do with the.
I thought the academy does it. I think they make all of them do it now. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
See, I'm not either.
I thought I saw people coming out CIT certified.
Because when because years ago when it was voluntary. Yeah. So I mean, I did a week of the basic, the advanced, and then a week of the kid, and then I think it was like a 3 or 4 day class for the vets. I volunteered for all of them. So I mean, it's just not for me to get that knowledge and that training to take on the streets, but I mean, it is. I mean, it helps yourself too, to be able to bring yourself down to a level of who you're helping that particular time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would have been my follow-up question of how much has that helped you in your career?
Oh, a lot. I take personal experiences that I've had in the past, and then the training that I've had, of course, and I mix them in together to help whoever on that particular call for service.
So that's exactly why he's actually on this podcast. I mean, if you want to tell him about that call.
No, go ahead.
So it was just a run-of-the-mill, stage for the PD on the psych call. We kind of pull down the street, see they're there, so we roll in. Just the ambulance there. I don't even remember who your partner was, but we basically, if I remember right, we had like a juvenile young teenager that had run away multiple times, and she had done it again. And mom was just kind of, truthfully, at her wit's end, I think, with it. Like, not upset, just emotionally exhausted more than anything.
Yeah.
And and so, I had my partner take her to the ambulance with Matt's partner, and they were talking with her, and we just talked with the mom, and it was one of the for a run-of-the-mill call, for like a not nothing really critical. It was one of those calls where you actually felt like you did something, and it seems like in our line of work, we only really do something if it's a critical call, if it's a bad wreck we're extricating, or we're truly saving somebody's life. It didn't have that vibe to it, but for one of the very few times it seems like anymore, we were actually making a difference, just reassuring this mom, talking her through the process. And even when I was transporting the kid to the hospital, like, it was just continual dialogue with her, just taking a step back, realizing the situation. And, it was just a perfect storm, I think, that led around to it. Like, I had some sleep that night. Blome was in a good mood. We weren't running our dicks off. It was just everything fell in the right for us to actually make a difference.
And that little girl, when she walked up to the house, because she ran away, I think she was threatening to go on 71 highway and jump in traffic.
Yeah.
And then she thought twice and came back. And when she was walking up to me on the front porch, I mean, I met her there at the steps, and she was just defeated. I mean, she didn't, because it's kind of, it's not really protocol, but it is to make anybody that goes with you guys safe. So, I mean, she had a purse on her, so I was just like, we're going to take your purse. You don't need anything on you. And she was just, like, defeated. Like, she gave up and wanted help without screaming, I need help. So then when she went to the ambulance, and then I spoke with mom, and I just keep it real with people. I've been doing this long enough, and I don't sugarcoat nothing. I tell them exactly, not really what they want to hear, but what they need to hear.
Yeah.
And there's a difference way. It's just coming out and being gruff and just being a complete asshole. I mean, sometimes you got to be, but that day I just told mom straight up how it was. Because you could tell mom was defeated as well. And with other kids in the house, I mean, she was done. So, I mean, mom was just bawling her eyes out.
I remember asking him afterwards, I was like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. I thought we worked great on that call together.
Yeah.
Like, it was a true, I mean, me and Jeremy, and talks I've had between you and I before, like, I very much am on the same page of fire and police do the same job in different uniforms, for the most part. And that was a day where I felt like we had a good multi-agency group think going on, and it worked, and people benefited from it. We had the acute emergency of the psychiatric help for the juvenile, and then we had the longer road kind of planning ahead for the mom, and it just worked. And that was, how long ago was that? That was some months.
Yeah, it was last fall, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember talking to him outside the ambulance before I think we even left the call, and exchanged numbers, and I'm like, I'm going to text you. And told him about the podcast and what we do, and it was just right then and there. You were like, yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I literally went home that night and
Binged every episode, didn't you?
Yeah, every single episode.
So that's why our views went up by 1 on every episode.
Yeah. Yes, I'm your number 1 fan.
Oh, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's nice when there's lots of times we hand off calls, where like this person just wants to go to the hospital, or this person this and that, but like,
and that's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
lot.
Lots of our interactions with you is like, hey, they want to go to the hospital. It's really nothing that we can do, but it's nice to have those calls, because every once in a while It's like it's like once a quarter, we'll both get to work with each other, trying to solve some kind of issue, and it helps a lot.
Yeah.
It helps them. It helps us because like you said, we feel like, hey, we get we did something good today, and it actually will make a difference, which is nice.
Well, and that's for me, one of the most frustrating things is getting called out somewhere, and we show up, and you guys are there, where everybody's there, and there's nothing any of us can really do because it's not really a law enforcement issue, but it's not really a medical issue or a fire department issue or whatever. And it's like, oh, all right, what do we do here? Because we can't let the situation stay how it is, but it doesn't really fall in anybody's wheelhouse.
How do we unfuck this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've said that many a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it's frustrating.
But and a lot of times, kind of like what you said, how do you unfuck it? Well, ambulance shows up. That's how we do it.
Yeah. And for us, it's the hospital.
Yeah. Exactly.
And where does that domino stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Brian said too, there are so many calls that you're just like, oh, okay, well, he's drunk again.
Well, and too,
Right.
think about all the calls you guys have run with us and we've run with you. That it's 2 a.m. and you got especially this past summer, we were both dangerously short-staffed, and we may be in a good mood and you guys are on the end of your shift, fucking exhausted, or you guys are coming on, your dog watch is coming on fresh, but we're on our 19th call today. And it's like we never even, you guys may have a good attitude, but we're sure as hell not once we take them. Or they had a piss poor attitude with you guys, and now we're dealing with the problem. And it's hard to get all the stars aligned sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, lots of times people just don't want the resources. You tell them about it.
Yeah.
You tell them whatever you can, and they're just like, nope. And then you see them again, and you're like, well, do you want them this time? Nope. Okay. Well, we'll send you to the hospital.
Well, you can't help everybody.
Exactly.
You can't help people that don't want help.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where do we draw that line?
I don't know that I've ever actually thrown my hands in the air till I came on this job. The amount of times I've just been like, what the fuck?
You again?
Come on, get in the ambulance.
Yeah,
other,
exactly.
other than celebrating a touchdown for football, I don't know that I've ever really done it in just awe till I came on the fire department.
So true.
Yeah. Well, a little piece of advice I was going to say, whenever you were talking about the whole, stars aligning and, we're at the end of our shift in a bad mood or, whatever it may be, just remember the words of wisdom from Patrick Swayze. Just be nice.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Just be nice.
And when they're, what was it? When they're motherfucking you
Yeah.
or
Be
saying
nice.
something about your mom, just be nice.
Yeah.
That is a classic.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, that is good.
Great movie.
All right. So, on to you.
On to me.
We'll come back to you too.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I started policing in, 2016. So I started when I was 29, and I lived out in Arizona. I graduated high school in Georgia, moved out to Arizona, went to college out there, took a business class. Only business class I took, and I was like, F this. I don't want to my dad's in credit card banking. He's been doing that forever. My mom's in medical stuff. I didn't want to go medical. I hate blood and guts and all that stuff. If I have to deal with it, I will. But if I don't have to, then I don't,
Damn, y'all should fix this.
Yeah. There's lots of times where they're like, hey, do you want to see this? And I'm like, if I don't have to, I don't need to. That's exactly how I am.
Go ahead and send EMS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the lady with the foot the other day, I did not go to the. She had frostbite and her foot was peeling off, the bottom of it. And Blome kept going, "Hey, are you seeing her foot?" And I was seeing it from I could see the top of it and I could see the skin coming off. I was like, I don't need to go on the other side. I don't need that in my life right now, because I thought it was a bandage at first.
No, it straight up looked like a big ass bandage.
Yeah, it really did. But
I was looking at it and I was like, that doesn't look right.
These are your toes,
But
and it was just dangling.
it was all jokes. It was probably a 1/4 inch of skin. like flopped over.
Yeah.
And her toes were black. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah. I have frostbite. And we were like, you do, ma'am. And she was hiding in a cabinet inside of the adult daycare center.
Yeah.
So I know.
Seems pretty normal.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, so I didn't want to do medical stuff. Business, well, I mean, I just didn't like it. It's boring behind a desk. I played college baseball. I love teams. I love being in teams. So I was like, you know what? Let's do criminal justice. You know, that's what everyone does. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to do fraud. I didn't know if I wanted to go into law or something like that. So I did that. Got my associate's degree, then went on to get my bachelor's. When I went to get my bachelor's, I was probably 23, and that's when I was like, you know what? I think I want to be a cop, because I had a bunch of cops teaching the criminal justice classes I went to University of Phoenix. We have never lost any sports games in our life.
What?
We don't have sports teams. Yeah. Anyways, but we're still, we're 0-0. So yeah, go Phoenix. Anyways, I went
undefeated.
Still undefeated. I mean, come on, guys.
I thought that was just an online school. There's actually a brick building?
Yeah. You can go to, there's brick and mortars.
That's the admin office.
Yeah, well, and Phoenix is where it started, obviously the name. So they had a lot of brick and mortar, but there's one here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Well, there was one here. I don't know if they have it anymore. But yeah, so I went to brick and mortar because I did not want to do online. All the guys that were teaching it were police officers. And I was like, I think I could do this. And he's like, if you like the teamwork, I mean, that's basically what you do all the time. It's like you are trying to help people, but then you're also like trying to catch bad guys with your friends. And you're like, some of the bad guys are really bad guys, and you get to do car chases and stuff, and you get to like tactically do this. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. So I started applying out at University of Phoenix. The recession hit. I was almost all the way through their process, and they were trying to hire 1,000 cops. And then it was 2008. That's when it hit, and they just said, nope, we're not hiring anymore. And they didn't start hiring again till like 2015 or something. So I applied for like 4 or 5 different agencies out there. I moved out here in like 2011 for like 3 months. Tried at Olathe and Shawnee. But I mean, every agency at that time, because they were so underfunded, short-staffed, well, just underfunded mainly because of the recession, was only hiring like 5 people at a time. So I was in business banking, just like my dad, because I'm really good at it. It's it's not hard, but I was just bored to death at my desk. Got married, moved out here, decided, hey, I'll give it one more try. Because I mean, if you feel like, I'm sure the fire department applications are hella big. Are they like really in-depth applications?
I think it was 1 page.
Okay, never mind. So anyways, when you fill out a police application, it's like 25 pages of just the most just random stuff.
What did you do on this date 9 years ago at 7
exactly.
in the morning?
Yeah.
When was the last time you smoked marijuana? And I'm like, I'm fucking 30. I don't know. I did that when I was like 16. I don't even remember the month. What do you want me to do? It's not like I didn't do it yesterday. I don't know. Date and time? Jesus. So filling out those, you just get tired of it. So I said, screw it. I'll do it one more time out here. I was working at Commerce Bank and put in my application to my department out in Johnson County and got on, and I was super excited. And then the current department I'm on actually sent me an email and was like, hey, by the way, we're hiring now. And I was like, I'm already in an academy. I'm not gonna screw this up right now. So I did that and really, really enjoyed it out there. But I kind of wanted to have a little more fun, a little bigger city kind of life. Where I came from, it was a little smaller and kind of boring. You do a lot of DUIs. I mean, I got really good at DUIs, but that was it. I mean, every once in a while you'd get to foot chase someone, and still haven't lost one of those yet. But still get to do.
Because he hasn't chased me.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. You're like a cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like when everyone starts, like, you know, I want to help everyone and I want to chase cars and do good things. But after a while, like when you kind of do the job, your version of helping people is like completely different. Like I went from, I just want to help people. I don't know how the hell to help people as a cop, you know, because I wasn't a cop yet. And so then you become a cop, and some of the ways that you help people is by taking people and putting them in timeout, taking them to jail, and that person may have a better night. You can help them get the services that they need. You can help. I've helped a couple of people go to DV shelters and they stay there, which is like awesome because you're like, oh, good, you're away from your abuser and stuff. Just getting bad guys off the street, you don't realize that actually helps the community more than what like you're like, hey, I got to chase someone.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
I am always
exactly.
going to refer to jail now as timeout.
We're adult babysitters.
Yeah.
You just did so. I had a lady today that was in a house trespassing, and I had to crawl through a freaking window because they screwed the door shut. And I said, come here. And she goes, why? And I'm like, because I'm the police, come here. And she kept saying why, like over and over and over.
Just because I said so doesn't work anymore.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what the heck? So, we got her out of the house, and I'm like, you're going in timeout. And I like to say this because it's funny. I'm like, I'm not mad at you right now. I'm just disappointed. It gets them. It gets them.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh too. So it's just kind of funny.
That's that's a varsity saying right
I-
there. I will say that.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
I had a drunk guy in Westport a couple of years ago that was just acting a fucking fool. And we were just like, hey, shut up, sit down. And finally I just said, hey, you're being that guy right now. And this motherfucker goes, I don't want to be that guy. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was crying.
Now you get to listen to crying
I was
for
like,
20
I gotta
minutes.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Dude, I don't mean to be that. Hey, can we hang out? You're like, no, just stop.
Yeah. No.
But yeah.
I really
I'll see
appreciate
you
what
at the
you guys
station next day.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so it kind of took me a longer journey to get to being a police officer, but I love every minute of it. It's a blast.
Deal. So I have a question for you guys since you have a little bit more time on and you're a little bit newer. Whenever everything happened a couple years ago, we had the riots and all of that stuff. How has that changed your perspective and about policing and how you do things? And I know that you're new, so I don't know how much you had to go, but what was the shift for you guys?
I wouldn't say it's changed a lot. I think how we look at things. Because I was in a proactive unit during the protests and the riots. I was down there about every second of every day. It was miserable. Because 90% of those people there at the plaza didn't even live in Kansas City.
Yeah. And it was hot.
They're just there
Just
to raise ruckus.
Yeah. Well, and that seemed to be the general consensus with all of the places that were experiencing big riots. Like the people that were causing the most problems weren't from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had nothing to do with that protest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't a Friday night.
I think when I started, my first academy was when the Dallas shootings happened. They had the four cops that got killed. 5 cops, that got killed. They had that sniper.
Yeah.
And then a month later was Louisiana. So it's kind of weird. There was no riots or anything at the time, but it's like, hey, people are, killing us.
Yeah.
And you're in an academy and it's just like, holy crap.
And go.
Yeah, and here you go. Here's your gun. Here's your badge. Go out on the street, have fun.
Yeah.
And then so when I did 3 years there, and I came out to my new department, and the riots were going on, I already had kind of an idea of what was going on, and just kind of how people were. And you're like, oh God, I got to deal with these riots now. But the coolest thing was where we work. They were when everything started going on and the riots happened, they just were like, thank you so much. On every call, don't listen to that noise. We hate these people. They're idiots. You guys are doing a good job. And it's people that you wouldn't even think that would ever thank you. People that were just like, oh, F the police. But then they were like, hey, thanks. Thanks
But
for being...
a lot of it was that older generation.
I had a lot of young people too, 30s. But yeah, the older generation too, for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people calling the station nonstop saying, hey, don't listen to that. We want you here. And then when they came out to our station to protest, it was a huge no.
Oh yeah, and that was the locals.
Yes,
nope,
the
not
locals
here.
are like, these are our cops. Get out of my station. Get out of my hood. F you guys. We're the ones that can mess with them. You can't.
Yeah.
And so
We've earned the right to mess with these guys.
Yes,
haven't.
The OGs sitting on the corner, they sat there, and one guy walked up to him, and he was like, it was a black dude walking up to a bunch of other black dudes, and he's got a sign, walked up to him. You can't hear what's going on, but I'm standing out there, I'm watching this. They grab his sign, tear it in half, throw it at him, and then they kick him in the butt, and then they chuck water bottles at him until he ran back to the crowd. Well, that same guy's walking over on the street hour later. A pickup truck pulls up, yanks him into the pickup truck, and drives off. And we were like there for the protest, and so everyone was like, did we just watch a kidnapping happen? Because they like grabbed this dude, chucked him in the truck, and just drove off. And we were like, all right, well, the neighborhood definitely wants us here. They don't want these guys here.
Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, 10-8. HBO.
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 Handle,
HBC.
Yeah.
Handled by citizens.
yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a weird perspective because, like, whenever I remember when the Dallas and Louisiana thing happened, there was a lot of people, like, bringing in food to, even at the academy, they were doing it out there. But then when the protests happened, we had 1 million pounds of food brought to us by just random people that would never, usually donate food and stuff. And it was every station was like that. And it was every city.
I remember my truck club, we donated probably $1,000 worth of like Gatorade and food.
Yeah.
And I had texted the FOP president. I'm like, hey, what did you do? He's like, oh, just bring it down to Century Towers. And so we were like, oh, yeah, we're all excited. And our truck beds are loaded up. And we pull in there. They fling open the doors, and there's pallets of shit. And I'm like, well, no, it's not so special.
Oh, no, it lasted months because we loved it. I mean, we had it after the riots. We had it for like 2-3 months at our station. We had just everything you could think of, all the Gatorades, the granola bars, and all that stuff. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was weird because you know who's making the noise and why they're making it, but the citizens, spoke louder than that. I mean, but no one sees that in the media.
Well, no, because they have a narrative to
Yeah,
push.
exactly. And it's perfect for us because, I mean, I don't care what the media says. I'm like, they're the ones who matter because I have to see them every day.
So let me refine Jeremy's question a little bit, because that was a great answer to his question, but especially in the city you guys are in, politics is playing more and more of a role in policing. The two don't go together, yet one is overpowering the other. We've seen that in other large cities as well. What is the feeling knowing that you have the potential to lose your job for doing the right thing? How do you still do the right thing? How are you proactive about doing the right thing?
I mean, in regard to that, I mean, just for me, just do what I do best. I mean, I'm not out there just to chase the average Joe for no reason. I'm not out there to violate anybody's civil rights. Me, it's more or less during the protests and the riots, I think my sense of awareness has spiked, of course. But for me to go out, I mean, I know what I'm doing. So, I mean, I just go out and do it. I mean, if you see somebody that's violated the law, I mean, that's easy. Sir, you beat up your wife, you're going to jail. But I mean, in regards to actually going out and trying to stir trouble up, I mean, you just don't do that. Sure. Times have changed from 20 years ago. They really have.
Yeah, as he likes to remind everybody, it's 2022.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a good question. I mean, there's really, what's your answer?
Yeah, I think like
because I didn't answer.
Yeah, well, because when I first came on, it wasn't as crazy. I mean, it was, like don't do anything like stupid that's going to get you in trouble. So I mean, you already
don't be the shield.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're already aware of like, hey, the prosecutor is going to come after you if you do something really dumb. So I did a lot more traffic stops and I was getting a lot more stuff out of cars and trying to do that. But, when you're pulling over cars in the middle of the night for like one brake light working or tag light out, and then you start seeing your buddies getting charged with stupid stuff that they shouldn't be getting charged with, then you're kind of like, all right. And then once that narrative started to really change in 2020 and even carry into 2021, for me, I mean, we didn't work together before all of that. I did a lot of traffic stops and I got a lot of stuff. And then I would get like, I like stolen autos because they're felonies and we can see them easy. I mean, how hard is it to go find a car and then just, get the person out of it? But it kind of changed to more of like, is it worth it to go after the little stuff that could get me in trouble? If I pull over this car because he's got too dark of tint and he steps out and starts shooting at me and then I return fire and then, I kill him or I harm him and then he says, this and that. And then the prosecutor, like, why am I going to do it for something small? Now, like Blome said, bigger stuff like, you're looking for like your shooting vehicles, your homicide vehicles or just people that are wandering the street that have those felony warrants, like the big stuff, you're looking for like rape suspects and everything. So I'm more cautious on the little stuff, which stinks because your proactivity was getting the little stuff and getting those people off the street. But now you're not getting the little people as much. You're getting,
well, and the little stuff leads to big stuff.
it always. But with that narrative changing, you're getting like we've been told, we used to get mopeds all the time and we'd get meth off of them and guns and stuff like that. Well, we started getting told, hey, if they don't have a front light on it, that's not a reason anymore. It's not a good enough reason. Well, still a law. You have to have a front light on your bike or on your moped driving down the street in the middle of the night. But all of our cases were getting thrown away. So you're like, well, if I do something to this person because it's still a law, but they're telling us, no, we're not going to charge that. Am I going to get in trouble because they ran out into traffic and got hit by a car? So as a more proactive cop, it's just hard to let the little stuff go sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on how you pick your battles.
Yeah.
Today, it's how you pick your battles.
Yeah.
And believe me, I understand that. I do. But it's one of those things for me that just like, you know what, if it's the law, then you're breaking the law, just like, we have rules and regs and all that stuff. It's not that hard to follow them.
Yeah.
So, but if somebody's doing something wrong and it's like, hey, I have a reason to stop them. And especially because everybody sitting here knows that typically if it's something like that, there's, like I said, it leads to bigger stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
don't know. I'm not a big fan of the whole, we're going to pick and choose what laws we're going to prosecute.
Yeah.
I mean, if you break the law, you break the law.
And that's what comes down to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond us.
Yeah. It's
So,
above all of our pay grades.
Yeah.
Oh, way
Yeah.
above, way above. But it's sad but true. But it's the higher ups, not like within our department, but I mean, the people that's going to see this through.
Yeah.
That these cases aren't being seen.
Well,
so then why mess with it?
Yeah. And I think that was Moran's point about politics getting involved in policing. It's the two don't mix. They need to be separated out.
Well, it's like you said, like you help people by getting bad guys off the street. Like that's how you help in law enforcement. You help your community by that. But if they're not getting off the street, are you helping?
Yeah.
And if you realize that day in and day out, where's your morale go? I mean, solo, it's a trip hazard probably some days.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, our biggest crimes right now are people stealing from cars, theft from autos, catalytic converters,
all property crimes.
all property crime stuff. But that's because there's not much that they're doing. So there's not. And again, if I go chase that person stealing a catalytic converter and they get hurt, the prosecutor's looking to hammer us for that.
Well, yeah. I think that ties directly back to the supply chain issues. That's
Yep.
the only reason they're stealing those.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, dang it.
I tried to order it online, but it just hasn't been here. So.
Boats are stuck in L.A. still, right? Or stuck in the little Bay Area over there.
Yeah.
But that goes to the point, though, is it cause and effect thing? Because how often do we hear, it's victimless crimes? Like,
it's
non-violent.
not. Yeah.
Well, There's an officer in your department that just lost a brother-in-law that accidentally walked into two people stealing catalytic converter
Yes.
and was shot and killed.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, James, will you plug that light in?
Yeah.
I forgot. Thank you. As we're
Ooh.
50 minutes in.
Nah.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well just let it go.
Yeah. Well, I thought about it, and
Just yellow sheet it.
Yeah. There we go. We got a couple of those. Yeah. The citizens are the ones who we tell all the time, though, like, hey, if you want this to change, you need to vote this way. Not vote this way, but you need to vote this person out because this is why.
Elections have consequences.
Exactly. And you know, I'm like, we're never going to find this person. And like lots of times their house gets shot up and they're like, so what are you guys going to do about it? And you're like, not much. I mean, we have video footage of a blurry person. And even if you find it on Facebook, they would have to admit it, but they're still not going to do anything because it's not bullet to skin. I mean, there's so many times where a car gets shot into and you're like, hey, we have this car. And they're like, is it bullet to skin? Nope. Okay. It's not worth it. Just let it go. Because that's the prosecutor declining to charge and stuff.
Yeah, when we could beat this dead horse.
Yeah. I mean, we could have a couple podcasts on this.
Have you noticed that I've kind of kept quiet during this topic?
yes.
Yes.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
To something else.
But
Ja-
it's,
James.
what? Well, I'm passionate about it. Like, but
yeah.
I'm sitting from the outside. Like, it's easy for me to be like, yeah. You know, like, I use this example before. I watched Chicago Fire, and I'm like, this is stupid. No, this never happens. Like, nobody does this. But I watched Chicago PD, and I'm like, whoa. Because I'm not a cop, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just think
See,
it's
I wish
cool.
I could go back to like the Andy Sipowicz days in NYPD Blue.
Oh.
I grew up with that. I mean, those are real cops.
I never watched those shows. I just was like, this is not what police do. I mean, you're having a career year every day, or just a career every day. Like you're shooting someone, you're chasing someone, you're catching some guy in Mexico, and then you're going home 5 hours later after that. No reports, by the way, because you never see him sitting there like, you never see him doing that. Ever.
HBO.
Yeah, they're HBO. Yeah, they're like, hey, lowly officer, you come over here and take this report.
That's,
What
that's
what
for
happened?
the desk sergeant.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
does all those reports.
Yeah.
What happened here? Well, he shot him. She shot that dude, and then I shot that one.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? HBO.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
handled it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
My wife liked to watch The Rookie, and I'm like, I swear to God, that guy gets in a shooting every episode. And he's back on the street the next episode. I'm like, no, he's getting like 2-3 weeks off. He's gonna have mental distress. He's gonna have to talk to someone. Take his gun away from him. He's shooting people every time. Stop it.
Yeah. Not
But
to mention
remember
the fact that he's 50 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Well, remember too, all those shows, they have jails. We don't have a jail. So
True.
Fair point.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I do love that
next
show,
topic.
The Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a big
I've
Nathan
never-
Fillion fan, though.
I
so.
do
Yeah,
like
see, I've
it.
never seen it.
It's a good show, and they have. I mean, it's got funny stuff in it, but you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally ridiculous. So.
But I'm a Blue Bloods guy.
I love Blue
Yeah,
Bloods.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but like Danny Reagan does that every episode. Hell, he'll shoot 5 dudes in 30 minutes. Next episode, he shot 6. And it's like, holy shit.
And all Tom Selleck does is comb his mustache.
Yeah, exactly.
What world-ending problem do we have today?
Yeah.
And solved. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But no, and we've had other officers on. We talked about it's easy for us, and then as much as we want to joke back and forth between firefighters and cops, it's easy for us because everybody loves when a fire truck shows up because we are there to solve a problem. When police cars show up, you're maybe there to solve a problem, but that comes with consequences for somebody else.
Time out.
And I don't know. I just don't know how you guys do it. Like, we're loved wherever we go for the most part, except for the Gandys that we aren't going to take for the 9th time in one day. But like, it's easy for us because like there is love and there is appreciation for the job we do, and for you guys not so much. And especially when politics or whatever, people's feelings get involved in that, and it becomes hard to do your job. I do wonder, I'm like, why the fuck are they still doing it every day? Like, it just seems demoralizing some days for you guys. And
Well, and I'm not going to speak for you two, but I'm going to give my opinion on that. It's just like our job. It's a calling. At least that's the way that I would kind of I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's like
For you guys?
it's like an addiction because you like doing what you're doing, and it's hard to visualize yourself not doing it. But it's like a good addiction where you're like, I'm actually doing something. But then, you get the rug pulled out from under you sometimes with, your fellow brethren getting charged with stuff, and you're like, what am I going to do now? Like, do I go look for another job? Do I see what else is out there? And you're like, no, I don't know. It's like you give it a couple days and you're like, fuck, I like doing this. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Waking up and driving south is half the battle.
Yeah. You said that the other day.
Waking up and driving south.
Yeah.
That's half the battle.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I don't know what else I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's going to come a time, obviously all of us sitting around here we're going to have to retire, and we're not going to be doing what we're doing anymore. But that day is hopefully a long way away. So, and until then, I'm going to enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like when I'm off, I don't think about work and stuff. So I do a pretty good job at like not associating with work and stuff.
No, you have to shut it off.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have to shut
And
it
that's
off.
what makes it good to go back in. The people that just live for it and work all the off duty all the time and stuff, I think they have the biggest issues because they're just nonstop an officer. And like, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a brother. I like doing other stuff
But
out
then,
there.
then you get those guys that will text you at like 9 o'clock at night and be like, "Oh, did you hear what happened?"
Yeah, did you hear what happened?
I'm like, "No, motherfucker, I'm off.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
home. I'm crawling into bed. No, I don't care."
Yeah. Like middle of the day, perfect. But yeah, in the middle of the night, I'm like, no, shut up. No.
well, it's, guys get, and girls, I guess, too, you get wrapped up and it becomes your identity, your whole identity.
Yes.
And, if that happens, you're already headed down the wrong path. Now, I mean, be proud of what you do, obviously, yes. But whenever every piece of clothing you wear says PD or FD, and, it's, those are the only friends you have, you may want to take a step back and
truthfully,
think
that's
about stuff.
one of my biggest issues is I have so many goddamn fire department shirts. Like, whatever I do, I'm like, I'm going to run to the gas station real quick. Like, I throw on a shirt. I'm like, fuck, I'm not wearing this fucking fire department shirt. like not wearing that because I hate that. The Randy Rescue idea of just like, look at me. Like,
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like you said, you got to unplug from it. You have to.
Yeah,
You
I
have
do
to
as soon as because I go to the station in civilian clothes. I change out, and then at the end of my shift, I change back.
Yep.
And then when I walk across the parking lot to my truck, done.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. Like when I get home, the wife's like, "How was your day?" I'm just like, "Fine," or half the time I'm just like, "Stupid."
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Unless we did something super fun, but otherwise,
But I mean,
stupid.
honestly, I mean, of all the years I've been with her, there's not really many stories that I don't want to take that home.
Right.
She could see me and understand that if I've had a shitty day, she'll ask and be like, "How's your day?" And she could just tell just by the expression, and she'll let it go for a while, and then if I want to talk about it, then I'll just bring it up and be like, "Babe, this is what happened today."
Let me tell you about this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then she's all ears. So I
So
mean, she's I can vent.
Is
I
that-
don't do it much.
Is that
You-
something you guys worked out early in your relationship, or did it just kind of happen organically?
Yeah, stepping stones. I've been doing this long before we met,
Mm-hmm.
and she has 2 steps. Or I have 2 stepsons. She has 2 boys. I mean, I've been there, done that. I don't want to bring it home. So, but she's so cool into the fact that, I mean, when I do want to vent, I mean, she's all ears, and she'll throw her 2 cents in. By all means, she will. And it's just when the conversation's kind of at that mood point, and then we just switch on. So I mean, it's kind of back and forth, because we have a code. Like if I go off or do something stupid or I'm getting pissed, like a little safe word, Bronco.
I like it.
So
We use that
I'm just
now.
like, God damn it, and she's like, Bronco. I'm just like, just all right, shut it.
Is it like the Hulk where where Black Widow, she's like, "Hey, big guy,
it's getting real
it's
low.
getting real
Sun's
dark.
getting real
The
low."
sun's getting real low," and she's just like petting you and stuff. Then you run off to your spaceship and then fly off to wherever
Yeah, the man cave.
Jeff Goldblum's planet is.
Yeah, the man cave for me.
Yeah, I like that.
Or the garage.
Hey, big guy, sun's getting real low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick some pissed off Gandhi to do that too coming up.
They will have no clue what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
if I run one of those calls with you, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, big guy."
Sun's getting real low. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Please, just let me be on that call too.
Ah.
I want to see how that works for you.
Some of my favorite memories when I retire will be like the drunk idiots, like on calls I've run with PD before. Like I had Wingate fall out of the ambulance. She was like snorting, laughing so hard with this guy on PCP. We were just cracking up with, and we had one in East Sun that was some lateral. God, I don't even remember. And some like big fat Meemaw, like big fat Meemaw, was high on PCP and ran her car into a house at approximately 2 miles per hour. It literally just hit the wall and just like stopped. And this lady was every bit of 500 pounds, and there was some like lateral from somewhere in Johnson County.
Not me. I don't remember this.
No, and he's not there anymore.
Oh, nice.
And we were talking. We're like, "Oh yeah, she's wet. You know, we can smell it." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Sir, what do you mean by wet?" And we're like, PCP. He's like, "Oh." And then we're like looking at each other. He's like, "How do you know what it smells like?" And I was like, "All right, now I'm gonna fuck with you." So like I smelled this lady's BO on top of the PCP already.
Yeah.
So I was like, it really like emits from like the armpits. So like go over, ask her to raise her arm, sniff her armpit, and you'll smell it. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." She's like, ma'am, may I have you lift your arm, please?" And she's like, "Sure, honey." And he's like, oh, yeah, I get it. And like, I am like hyperventilating, and I turn around, and nobody's there. His FTO's gone, the other 2 cops that were gone, and I just see hands and knees on the other side of the ambulance just dying.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take it. It's great.
Yeah, I remember talking to his FTO. I was like, "How did he do?" He's like, "Oh, you know." No, he left. I'm like, it's probably best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez, Moran, you can't break them so
You
fast.
gotta have fun.
I don't know if you're out there. If you come from that neck of the woods and you come over to the shit,
It was East Zone too. Like,
yeah, I mean, you have to have some kind of sense of humor. Otherwise, that place will eat you alive. I mean, you'll become a completely different person if you just gotta laugh with everything. I mean, we got crazy people that light fires on the side of 40 highway. You guys, I don't know if you ever dealt with her before, but holy shit. I mean, every time we see her on the road, I mean, she's always in something different. So you just gotta, we try to help. We've tried everything.
I'm at the point where like, if your stupidity inconveniences me, we're all gonna know about it and we're gonna have a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, most recruits too, we try to like, hey, this is what PCP smells like. Or I'm like, it smells like nail polish, not like people just, that was the first thing I asked about, or nail polish remover, not nail polish. But I'm like, that's the first thing I asked. Like, what the hell does this stuff smell like? Because you don't deal with it over on the Kansas side ever. Well,
Ever.
Well, even a lot of other places in this city, you really don't deal with it that much.
that's true. Yeah.
No.
But what did we learn about that story? He was a transplant.
Yeah. I mean,
He brought that shit with him.
yeah, that's true.
We also learned that James is a Richard.
That's fine.
Yeah, we had a whole episode a little while back about just don't be a dick. And yeah, so there you go.
I was the episode Shining Star.
Yeah.
Were you in the hot seat right here?
No, that's we usually use that seat for the shorter people just due to the camera angle. So
Yeah, I noticed the seat's not as high as it should be.
It does go up.
It probably does, but my feet are touching, and that's about as.
Are they?
It's as low as that seat goes. Yeah.
if he kicks with enough force, his toes will scrape the carpet.
Yeah, does it count if your feet are touching if your toes are on the ground?
Sure.
Okay,
I'll give you that one.
perfect. I'm 6 foot.
You should see him get out of a squad car. It's funny.
Do you have to like throw a little box out for
No,
it?
he has to like jump off the phone books.
That's true. Yeah. I have the seat raised as high as possible because I hate what I've been in his car a couple times, and it's a foot difference. It's terrible. Well, it's 10-inch difference.
Well, I'm comfortable.
I know, and I'm sitting back like this, and then here's the steering wheel. I'm like, yep, can't see anything, and then I try to raise the seat and it's broken, and I can't raise it. So then I get a different car. That happens constantly. Only on our 30 sector days, but
turbo tons. Good Lord.
Actually, I rode with my other brother today.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. All right. So, what do you guys do with? Obviously, you can go home and talk to your wife. So, is that kind of how you de-stress and all of that, or do
No,
you
I mean
guys
that's not a nightly thing by any means.
Okay.
I mean, usually 9 out of 10 days it's how was your day? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it's make supper. Let's do our nightly thing. I like to fish. Like today is my day off. I got a big fish tank in the basement, so I clean that. That's mine. I mean, my de-stressor is just taking that uniform off at work, walking through the parking lot, taking a deep breath, getting in my truck, throw on a little Mark Packard ESPN radio, and driving home. And probably 3 out of the 4 out of the 5 days that I'm working, I'll usually call my parents on the way home, say hi. They're like my besties. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I've been doing it for so long. I mean, honestly, I could say just taking that uniform off there, that's a woo-saw. Really.
Yeah.
Because on my free time, I mean, I am not thinking about that place at all. I mean, unless there's a critical incident that's involving my own. Nope. I just don't care. Don't care. I've been there, done that. So.
Sounds like you have a healthy work-life balance.
Yes. Yeah.
What's that?
But it took me.
Could you please explain it to him?
Yeah, it took me years to find that happy median.
See, I got time. Back off for another 5 years.
It's not physically possible for you to continue at the pace you are going for another 5 years.
My mom said I'm special. I'm a trendsetter.
Oh, you're special, all right.
Yeah.
She probably would have said that mustache looks cool too.
Because she loves me.
I don't think I've ever seen you without a mustache / goatee or whatever you call it.
It's handlebars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Freaking love it.
It's a hero stash.
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't know anything about
For
it.
the longest time,
We can't
whenever I
grow.
first met him, I thought he was Mexican.
You're not? No.
Just because of the mustache.
90% white and 10 inches black.
Oh. All right. All right.
So, Brian, how do you
Laugh at my joke! Laugh at my joke!
I did. I was doing the math. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. So how do you de-stress?
So generally, I don't really talk to my wife about it. Sometimes if something cool happens at work, we have a family chat with my parents too, and I'll text them all, be like, fuck yeah, I did this today. And they're like, awesome, stay safe. And then I get home and then we don't really talk about it. I think before it was the coolest thing I did was DUIs. And then after my third or fourth car chase / foot chase at my new department, it's just kind of like, all right, that's just what he does. So, we won't talk too much about it unless you really want to. Usually too, if I talk about it, it's when we're at a party or something and people are asking me questions or something like that. So my wife's already there. So she's either heard it or maybe it's a new one. And she's like, oh, this is kind of cool. But usually she won't be like, hey, tell me the coolest thing that happened today. Same thing like Blome. I like to take my uniform off and I'm just I'm done. I don't like taking it home. Only time I'll take it home if I'm going to wash it. And sometimes I'll wear it home, to wash it. But yeah, I don't take it home at all. I work out I have a bunch of workout buddies. I do CrossFit, so that's like my own little cult that I get to deal with, and we just talk about working out and other dumb stuff and beer
Well,
and
it's CrossFit. So
exactly. Did I tell you that I do
Yeah.
CrossFit yet?
yeah, you did. I'm surprised by your restraint because it took you an hour to work that in the conversation.
I know, right?
So,
Yeah. Hey, so
yeah.
you want to do some burpees after this?
No.
Yeah. So I do that and just kind of try to hang out with the family and just not do police stuff. I mean,
But I mean, you got little ones at home too.
yeah,
so.
yeah, and they're 3 and 2, or 3.5 and 2.
Because
So
mine are 16 and 13, so they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, they could
mean,
care less about hanging out with the
Yeah.
parents at this point.
Yeah, I mean they don't really care
Whatever,
what
Dad.
I do.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
yeah. So I mean, the biggest thing that I learned early on was like, don't care what you see on the news, because if you go home and they're talking bad about police, then you get back in that police mentality and then you start getting mad again. So don't get in that, just don't care what other people think about it, and just don't care about it when you're not doing it. When you're at home, be at home. When you're at the gym, be at the gym. When you're with family, be with family.
So be present where you're at.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you got those guys that'll take a radio home and turn it on
Mm-hmm.
and listen to it.
Yeah, I tried that a couple times, and I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to. I just had the radio at home because I had the extra battery, and I'm like, this is dumb. The last thing I want to do is just be sitting here playing video games and listening to this, or watching TV and listening to this. I can't be there,
Yeah.
so who cares?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's the same thing with the Pulse Point app.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I'm not putting that on my phone. When I'm home, I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm off. So
I like it though because it's just fun for me. Just cause, mostly because it truly does piss me off. Because then, like, when your station gets a fire, like, fucking B shift got another one. Damn it! Like, B shift has just been burning like crazy lately.
let it go.
No, it's not
I know.
fair.
It's like the car chase. I love car chases, but if I hear that PMs or Dog Watch got into a car chase while I'm off, I mean, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Cool.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's.
But then I'm
neat.
also the first
Yeah.
person, like, when I saw like that gas main on Maine got broken. It's like a 9-hour repair, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. Sucks to be B shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I'm kind of curious with, and I don't, for lack of better words, I hate to say train or condition, but with your spouses, especially as long as you've been on, social media has really changed the game in a lot of things. How do you kind of help them unplug from that and see all the negative stuff in the media and on social media all the time that just could just cause more stress on them worrying about you guys?
I don't have social media. I went ahead and deleted all that stuff during the protests and riots. The wife, she's on the same page as I am. She just, like, that's shit. She doesn't really ponder the fact and bitch about it and complain and worry. And it's simple. It's easy. Just don't worry about it. I don't watch the news, especially local news. I don't do anything with a media outlet. Nothing. I don't do that. And I don't know, the wife just she knows how to filter that in and filter it out and put it to the side. I mean, if she sees something like during the protests and all that, I mean, yeah, she was pissed. No, I mean, kind of at the higher ups that would or wouldn't do stuff, but no, she lets it roll off her. She has thick skin. She's a girl that was born and raised in Fiji. She's straight and narrow.
Well, she's married to you, so.
I mean, so she's extra special.
Born in Fiji, married somebody from Iowa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fucked up mix, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, she thought you were William Shatner, so.
Yeah.
What?
From Star Trek. He's from Iowa. What's not Scotty? What the fuck?
Captain Kirk?
Captain Kirk. There you go. Yeah, he's from Iowa.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? How? Do you know what Iowa stands for?
No.
Idiots out wandering around.
Yeah. And you're from where? Phoenix?
Nebraska.
Oh.
Omaha.
That must
To
have
be
been some
exact.
bad corn because you do not look corn fed.
No. I probably ate too much corn and not enough steak.
Ah.
And I'm Irish Italian, so you know how tall are we? I'm pretty fucked, okay? I'm not like German or anything, so.
Well,
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Irish and German.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm Sicilian, so I'm like the
Oh,
little
then you're
tiny.
super
I'm
fucked.
really fucked. I
Yeah.
know. I mean, they were just a bunch of little midgets down there.
Holy shit.
I can say that because I'm short
And Sicilian.
And Sicilian.
and Sicilian. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I
going to
don't
have a
even-
disclaimer going across the bottom. It's okay. He can say this. There's our controversy. We're going to get canceled.
Dang it.
We're all going to get whacked.
Jeremy and
That's
I have
what's
been
gonna
trying
happen.
to come up with something. Since like doing our thing isn't working, we thought about maybe not doing our thing and causing a controversy to get more viewers.
What if you just muted that part? You just go in there and scrub it. Am I going to get whacked off then? The show?
Would you like to choose a different phrase?
Well, he said you should whack something, so that's what I was.
I said, you never heard that term before? Get whacked?
Yeah.
Okay. I would hope so,
Yeah.
considering your line of work.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Pazan. You want to get
And
whacked.
your family.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. Perfect. Well, this is all right.
Bloom,
Should I just turn
Bloom,
around?
save us.
Dude, I don't know what to do. Just shut the fuck up.
What
And
were
see,
we
that-
talking
I'm
about?
actually being nice tonight. I'm reserved because
Yeah.
usually I don't have a filter, and
That's
that's probably a negative thing in regards to me and the line of work I do because
Well, on calls you have a 80% filter. When it needs to come off, then you take it off.
and regardless of who's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, I
Well, you know,
I
like-
put my 2 cents in.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you said before, you don't sugarcoat stuff, and then
No, I
sometimes people need to hear the truth.
Yes.
True,
And
true,
there's ways you can deliver it without being an asshole.
Yeah.
true. And I'm working.
But sometimes delivering it as an asshole is more fun.
Right.
No,
but your message doesn't get across. That's the problem. If you're just an asshole and you're telling them you're a piece of shit, stop doing drugs, all they hear is you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You said Truman? Okay, Truman. No.
Damn it! Why am I in hiatus? Yeah, great. Keep telling people they're pieces of shit and stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
I need to change up my verbiage.
Yes.
No, usually
That's all it is.
My saving grace for like calls like that, I'm just like, all right, yeah, send in an ambulance. I just take a step back. I'm like, that's their fucking problem. Now.
Yep. I say the same thing when I'm on the pumper of the truck.
Yeah.
It's got to the point now that some cops, like, when we just deal with those assholes, they'll see me get out and they're like, oh. Like, they already know it's coming.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're not going to want to go to the hospital now. And I'm like, what now?
Yeah. Well, they go to timeout with him or the consequence bus with you. So
Yeah.
Yeah, or they know they're going to jail and be like, nope, I need an ambulance.
I got just
For
paid.
what? I'm having a heart attack. I'm like, no, you're not,
Dude,
But, I
you're
mean,
going to be
we'll
out
call.
in 2 hours. Just go to jail, get your fingerprints taken, and just make this easy for everyone. Nope. My heart. Oh my God.
Because I had that years ago when I was working in Center Zone. I was down in River Market. This is kind of a funny story. So I was messing with a guy named Joe. He's just a hardcore alcoholic. And he had a good felony warrant out of Greene County. So I'm like, all right, put him in cuffs. The wagon's there. He's like, nope. I need an ambulance. I'm like, for what? He's like, I think I'm having a stroke or something like that. And I was just like, no, you're not going to the ambulance. No. So my partner called ambulance. I was like, Joe, do you know how to swim? He's like, no. I go, good. We're walking to the river. He's like, I'll go to jail. You're right. I don't need ambulance. I'll just go to jail. I'm sorry. I was like, Joe. And this is like the 20th time I arrested him. I mean, good dude. Just an alcoholic. I was like, Joe, you know how to swim? He's like, no. I'm like, let's go, buddy. He's like, I'll go.
I mean, sometimes people need that. You can tell them sometimes too, like, hey, if you stop dicking around, you're going to be in and out in a couple hours. And if you go with the EMS, then I'm going to sit there with you. And you're going to have to deal with me, and then you're going to have to deal with detectives, and it's going to take you like 6 hours, and you're probably not going to get food. So, do you want food or not?
Yeah.
Because now it's just like, just go to jail. You're going to be on a 24-hour hold. You'll be home for supper before I will
Yep.
be. And they're just like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Or go with the ambulance, get a big fat ambulance bill, and still
See,
go to
that's
jail.
what I think we need to start tacking on ambulance bills to court costs.
I would love that. Yeah.
Mhm. That's my new. If I'm president of the world, it's the first thing we're doing before we solve world hunger or anything else. Ambulance bills are getting attached.
When I was in Center Zone, this is years ago, we had two prolific guys that would, every day. So I did some research on it and looked these two guys up in the system. I even went to every single hospital in the metro. Two dudes in 28 days. Guess how many times they were taken to the ER?
Probably 60.
Oh, at least.
67. In 28 days, two guys, 67 times. And it was the same shit. Drunk on a bus stop, drunk here, drunk there, whatever. So then I went with the court advocates and showed them all this paperwork. And then they got to the judge. And yeah, just kind of, granted, they didn't have to pay those bills, but judge was like, yeah, this has to stop. And it stopped.
Did one of those people go to Warrensburg?
Oh, yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. The female?
An old dude that was a chronic, and then PD had basically did that. They're like, hey,
First name start with a J? Yeah.
like, hey, this is enough.
No, yeah, he did. I thought you were talking about somebody else.
So
And that's another story.
why is it that it has to go? And that kind of seems like the extreme, right? You had to go do all that legwork and get it all the way in front of a judge
I did a lot of leg.
for that to stop.
Yes.
Why does it have to get to that point?
Part of it's the hospital not wanting to go to a judge as well, because we can help, but it has to be someone. It's mental health stuff, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
and to the hospital, it doesn't look that bad. Of the 67, one hospital maybe only got
Yeah.
10 or 15. The nice thing, so we had Dr. Erica Carney. She's the fire department's medical director on the show. And when she became medical director, she basically started we don't call them frequent flyers, we call them high utilizers,
Yeah.
like lists. And she updates it weekly. And it was very convenient because, while you're dropping off a patient at the hospital, you'd flip through it and look at it, and it would show like resources offered, all this done, because sure shit, you'd run them and they'd be like, well, I didn't get this. And you're like, actually,
Yeah.
according to the sheet, you got this, this, and this, and you denied this, and you threw a sandwich.
Yep.
So, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of the judges too. It's hard to get people through to take their rights away and get them into mental health court so that they go to a hospital to try to get resources, because of, 60, 70 years ago when they were throwing people in
The sanitariums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they would be a good idea, but what they did to people back then, not a good idea what they were doing, the testing and all that stuff. But if we had it now, we could put these people in places that would get them services. Like the dude's wife that I was telling you about today, she finally got put into a nursing home where she can get released during the daytime. She gets her medicines at nighttime, and then she can wander the streets or do whatever. She usually goes over to her husband's house, but then she goes back to the nursing home to go get her services. She has to. She's court ordered to do that. And so but that took, I'd been on here for 3 years. That took 2.5 years of my time. And I don't know how many years before that as well, before I was here, because I dealt with her constantly, like once a week, wrestling her, fighting her, doing DV reports. They're beating each other up. It took forever. So that's why it just.
Well, the unfortunate fact really is mental health services in this country are, let's just say, inadequate.
Yeah.
No,
They're
yeah.
underfunded.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
And,
100%. Yeah.
You guys run a shit ton of them. We run a shit ton of them. We run a shit ton of them together.
Well, and your city throws $3 million towards a houseless or whatever they call themselves union instead of giving it to the mental health courts, when you could give that money to a place that will actually do something with these people, when you can go take them there against their will because they need it. That works wonders.
But like you said it earlier, it's the ones that there's so many that just don't want help.
Yeah.
That just refuse to take anything.
Yeah.
Because when I was in Centers on, my partner and I did through the Veterans Hospital with the advocates there, we did the Veterans Outreach. So we went to every single homeless camp, and our goal was to find veterans and get them the help they need. That was the main focus.
Mm-hmm.
And out of I think I had 8 that were veterans. Guess how many wanted help? 0. But doing that, I was able to get 2 of those, and they were older. I mean, they're in their 60s, homeless. Actually get them in to restart and start a new life and part-time jobs, and they had their own apartment and did what they needed to do. And then we had another one, and his nickname was White Hawk. His family member in Alabama passed, and we had an attorney a family attorney come into the station asking for me. So I go up there, and she's like, I need to find this person. I'm like, why? I go, I know exactly where he's camped at. She's like, well, the last living relative passed, and he's been inherited this 1,000-acre ranch and horse ranch in Alabama.
Nice.
And $6 million in the bank. And we went there and I told him, and he's like, okay. I was like, let's get you a hotel cleaned up so you can go. He's like, can I take a couple of my buddies? I was like, that's up to them. So then the next day, they were clean shaved, hair did, wearing a nice suit jacket, and he's just like, Officer Blome, he came up, gave me a hug. He's like, love you, buddy. Thank you. He goes, you never gave up on me. I was just like, you just won the lottery.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's the only reason you're going.
Yeah.
He's just like, and he did actually, about a year later, send a letter to the station. He's doing good, riding horses and living the dream.
Yeah.
But point is that a lot of these folks just don't want help. And I just would want to just slam my head against the wall. I'm like, I am here. Because I know an older gentleman that was a combat medic in the Army, and he did 4 tours, and he did his last one in Desert Storm. I'm like, you were honorably discharged. You did everything perfect. Your wife was killed in a car wreck. Your daughter left. You're homeless. Let me help you. He's like, no. And you know why he said no? Because one of the restrictions to be taken into that outreach program is that you had to be sober. He's like, oh, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't drink. I'm like, they're going to give you an apartment. They're going to give you a part-time job. He's just like, nope. And then found him in a camp, deceased. I mean, you can't, it sucks. It hurts, though, that the ones that you are just like, man, I'd take you in and put you in my basement if I could. That's probably the hardest of this category of people that we're talking about.
Yeah.
They just don't want it.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, and I think it goes kind of even further than that of them maybe not wanting it, or because whenever you talk about mental health, there's so many aspects of it. Like maybe if he had been actually medicated with what he was trying to medicate himself with the
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, he would have wanted the help,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
But when you're down that rabbit hole that far,
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't see a way out, and no, why would I take the help?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wonder too, sometimes I think what if we had all the money for mental health and you just started this person has been a problem for, this is how many CIT reports I have. And once you hit that certain CIT report number, they just get taken. They go to they forcibly have to go to that hospital. If everyone else on the street's like, oh shit, John just got taken, they just took him to the hospital to go, get his medicine. Now he's at this hospital getting help. If they're going to start going, well, maybe I'll try not to do this anymore. Maybe it'll kind of keep them from doing that, because we had a lot of people last year. I haven't seen this many homeless people, where I work, and I've only been here for 3 years, but it went from barely any camps to
all
camps
over the place.
everywhere.
Well, yeah.
And will that deter people if
But
you just snatch them up and
But with that said, though, the 3 or 4 Greyhound buses that they shipped from St. Joe didn't help either.
No, of course not. Yeah. But what if you start snatching these people up against their will to make them get the help that they need, are other people that aren't fully there yet going to go, yeah, this, I don't want to do this anymore because they're going to take me against my, you never know.
I mean, it's cause and effect. If we start reducing or eliminating bail and we start not prosecuting things, people
there's crime
going to go up.
Yeah. Like, just like stolen autos. There's just one cat in Easton that was arrested 4 times in a week. 4 different stolen autos. And he knows that if he gets arrested, the last time I got him, he just stopped. He's just like, got out, put his hands behind his back. I'm like, what are you doing? He's just like, take me in, get a new mugshot, I'll be out. Yeah, well, okay,
yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, if they would actually crack down on that, he might like, well, maybe I'm going to go to...
Maybe I'm going to run this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'll go to a different city and do this. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just get out of KC.
Yeah.
Go someplace else.
I remember there was a guy, like Andy, the fire department was tired of that they combined all their money, put him on a bus to the Greyhound to Dallas, and Dallas sent him the fuck back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just like, we can't win.
Yeah, I've known that to happen a couple of times. We're just like, oh my God, somebody give him a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to your point. I mean, yeah, if they could write that policy or write that law and make it to where it wasn't kidnapping, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, yeah, I mean, who knows what ripple effects that would have of getting those people the help that they need and getting them off the streets.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all seen the person who gets the help, maybe not fully, you get the warrants where you have to go to the hospital and get your medication, your shot or whatever. But like when you see those people that are on their medication, like the lady I was talking about earlier with the husband, night and day difference.
Yeah.
I mean, she's on her medicine, not fully willingly, but she's taking it. But like night and day, you're like, now you can actually function in society and not be wandering the streets and fighting us and fighting your husband and stuff. So you see the difference and you're like, this is a good thing and we need to be doing more instead of handing your person money on the corner, maybe donate that money.
But that's easy.
Exactly. And it makes those people feel good inside.
Yeah. It's easy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're like, all right, it makes me feel better. I gave this person money. And you're like, do you know what you just did for another, well, if it's alcohol, maybe for another 24, 48 hours. I mean, you just gave them.
Like some countries do rotations through the military. Like once I think we should do rotations through
I like that.
The fire department or police department. Like, yeah.
Is that Norway or Sweden or something like that? I know.
Israel does.
Do they do that?
Okay. There's actually several countries that do that. But
I think we should do that here. Like, oh, welcome to the city of Kansas City. Do your 2 years at the police or fire department.
Yeah.
Homeless giving would go.
So true. I think, too, some of the people that get into either, all of our lines of business, like in military, fire, and police, some of them just, I wouldn't say are cut out, but they don't detach like we can. And I'm not saying like we're super cops so we can detach, but we know how to, and we've been doing it long enough, and we've had critical incidents that have happened where, we're just like, okay, I mean, we can detach, and are you okay? Yeah, no, I'm fine. Like, this is okay.
I mean, that's critical to the job.
Yeah.
Like, you have
well,
to be
I mean,
it's
having tough skin and a twisted personality.
Yeah, but there's some people that get in this job that just, I mean, I'm just saying, to your point, if you make everyone do it, I just don't think you would get good people for 2 years. You'd have a bunch of people that would come and get, I mean, you see the dead bodies that we see too, would just make people like, oh my God.
Yeah. Or for every house fire, you'd have one person be like, okay, I'll do it. And 5 people crying in the front yard.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. What's the hose? What's the hose? I don't know.
There's a reason only 200 people applied last time we put an application process out.
Yeah.
People don't want this job.
Yeah. I think the chief said 4 went to the last physical that we had, the little run around the gymnasium stuff.
Really?
Yeah, we had 4.
That's...
Yeah, it was. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
We're going to get our number. We're bumping those numbers up.
I'm sure the
those are rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Sure the standard's not going to be lowered at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary because that brings back a bigger societal picture of like, where did we lose the will and passion to be each other's servants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
social media.
No, yeah,
yeah. I can agree with that.
yeah.
I mean, that's scary.
2020 made it awful for everyone that wants to be in the services industry. I mean, you got COVID with nurses where they're just like jumping ship nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, fires jumping ship too, because they're just like, screw this shit. We're getting, and us getting hammered by all politicians and media and stuff
These suburban
like that.
departments were just like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
I remember like when COVID first started from like February till, Memorial Day weekend, basically. Life was good.
mm-hmm.
Nobody went outside. Multiple ambulances and fire companies were having nights in. On the calls we did run, we're like, well, we could take you to the hospital, but you could die of COVID. And they're like, no,
Yep.
we're good.
Mhm.
Like, it was easy. I think the biggest problem you guys had were like speeders.
Yeah, the roads were
Yeah.
dead. And so there's just people dying because they're driving way too fast or riding motorcycles like idiots.
But then I remember Memorial Day weekend, it was the weekend of the riots when they first started. It was like a bomb went off in this city, and it has yet to ever heal from it.
mm-hmm.
It's just been like the violence and the call volume for both of us, and now the short staffing, and then the politics. It just, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think when the criminals got smart because they listened to the politics in the city and were like, oh, we know what's going on now. When they brought the FBI in, that helped a lot because lots of the criminals are now in federal prison. So,
But we still had our record of homicides and
oh yeah, 100%.
COVID.
Yeah, 100%. We still did, but I mean, you got a lot of crazy bad guys off the street, and then, I mean, you still have, you got juveniles that aren't being watched and taken care of. I mean, you have this whole society.
That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just so. I mean,
We can't fix all the problems
Yeah.
right now, Brian.
yeah,
Yes, we can. We get rid of World of Fun.
yeah. True.
That's exactly how
Or
we solve that.
We can just move it down here. Well, not down here. We're up here. Down where we work. Maybe move it down there instead of having it up north. And then it'll be a world of fun.
Move it to the Kansas side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
We'll trade you a NASCAR track for a theme park.
Yeah.
We'll just barter entertainment
Hey,
districts.
Schlitterbahn, can
I'd
we?
be all right with
Yeah, I would like a NASCAR track out here.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
A NASCAR track and a second round pick. We'll give you Worlds of Fun and Cerner.
And the rest of CERN, yeah, because half of it's in what, Wyandotte
Yeah.
by Legends, yeah. Actually, I could take Legends. I like Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Zonerous. Yeah. We'll have to consult the draft board.
Zona Rosa. Oh, that's like a dying place now. There's so many.
I haven't
empty
been there
shops.
since 2015.
I went to the comedy club recently, and there's like 6
That's still
shops that
open?
are. Yeah, it's it's attached to the barcade now, but it's just like dying. There's like stores missing everywhere.
It's been dying for 10 years.
Yeah, it's awful.
So
But we got Top Golf.
No,
Sure.
wait, is
I
it
still
T-shots?
haven't-
Yeah,
Yeah, I still haven't been there.
It's pretty fun.
I mean,
I'm just terrible. I'm so god awful at golf. I just have fun with it.
yeah. T-shots is fun. They on Fridays, I think they give you pay $15 for lunch, and they give you a free hour of golf.
Ooh.
Card. You get this little certificate, and then you can go back the next Friday or Thursday or whatever, play an hour. So if you get like 5 buddies, you get 5 hours of free golf between all of you. It's awesome.
Ooh.
And I think it's Fridays.
You should take your CrossFit buddies.
That's who I went with.
They're too busy doing CrossFit.
Good night.
they're
Yeah.
probably doing deadlifts with the golf clubs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Just a couple snatches. Got to warm up,
Swing a club, do a burpee.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a orthopedic surgeon on speed dial?
I do
I'm
not.
just-
I have
So you haven't been doing CrossFit long, have you?
10 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
you're definitely in the minority.
I like food too, Blome. Don't look at me like that.
I figured anybody that did CrossFit for 10 years would be,
Buff.
yeah.
Right? I know.
He said it.
He was looking at it. I know he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, did you see my face when he's like, yeah, I work out every day? And I'm like, you come in sweaty.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You can't, I mean, I eat way too many calories a day. That's my problem because I love food.
Wait till
I'm going to go home and I'm going to just crush a sleeve of Thin Mints.
Wait till you're my age. I wake up every morning with arthritis so bad in my ankles
you know,
I could barely walk.
I hear everyone looks at me and they're like, wait till you're my age. And I'm like, now I'm 35. And I'm like, that person was saying that when they were 35. I'm like, I'm fine. It's because I do CrossFit.
Oh, I was great at 35. Yeah, CrossFit. Yeah. Oh,
All right.
oh my goodness.
That's sure. CrossFit.
Hey, I'm wearing my CrossFit firefighter shirt, okay?
Hey, and we appreciate the support. Just
Cops need heroes too.
You know, I think it's the other
We
way
do.
around. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I do get jealous. You guys get to play ping pong and pool and stuff like that. I always get invited to go play, and I'm like, I don't have enough fucking time to go play. I would love to, but it's like, calling any cars? Yep. Okay, we're on to the next one.
What's always fun is to see the new kid who's never played ping pong ever play for his first time at a station.
That would be good.
Oh, yes, it was quite comical the other day. This kid, I felt bad for him because, they handed him the ping pong paddle and he looked at it like it was a bat. Yeah, it was.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be me.
So, yeah, there's some traditions that we have that,
Yeah,
works out.
I like it. Is it like a ping pong to the naked back skin?
No, it's just,
Oh.
The fuck do you think we do all day?
Yeah. Hazing is not okay.
I didn't say it was hazing. Like, who can take the most pain? And then you sit there and you're like, all right, next. Like the knuckles game. Remember, you hit each other's knuckles. It's the same thing, just with a ping pong and a paddle.
I
Yeah,
feel
no.
like
I
you
didn't-
have some underlining issues. Now this podcast is about mental health, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to solve your shit today.
It's been 35 years. No one has solved any of my shit. Trust me, I get told like, "Hey, we're gonna fix you one day," and I'm like, "I'm just waiting, just waiting."
Good luck.
You're the guy that's like, no, I'm fine. I don't need help. I'm good. I'm good.
What's wrong with me? Nothing.
Yeah,
You're in a safe space. You
yeah.
can-
Okay.
yeah.
Can we hold hands?
Yeah, but I don't know if we are with him in the room.
I'm fairly confident.
Not fair.
Yeah. I don't have my CIT. He does. So if he needs to, he'll be, "Hey, big guy,
Real low.
sun's going down. It's getting a little low."
Sun's going down.
That's how he calms me down.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a good relationship.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So, closing thoughts.
I'll go to him first. He's been doing all the talking.
Closing thoughts.
Closing
or
thoughts.
Just anything.
Anything. What if you could say anything? Think about that, then don't say that, and then say something.
Oh, then I'm really going to stay quiet.
I was going to apologize for my comment earlier that needs to get
Which one?
wiped off.
Which one?
The wiped off one.
Were you offended the midgets or the Sicilians?
Yeah, right. That's what I was literally thinking. I was like, which one?
Oh, man, I forgot. Sorry, little people. I'm
Lord.
such a dick. God. Closing thoughts.
No, I like what you guys do here. I've watched a lot of your podcast.
Yeah, they're good.
Cool.
Do like
Thank
it.
you.
And I've enjoyed the talks and everything. I think it's good to talk about like mental health with what we can and can't do, and just kind of what our department's able to do, but the city won't help with, or whatever, politics and stuff. But I mean, I like working. I think we have a great relationship with our fire department, which is awesome. I mean, there are cities out there that just hate their fire departments, or vice versa, And so, but it's cool too, because I go on scenes and sometimes you guys are just like, "Hey man, sorry, shit's going on." Like, if, recently when some of the money may have been taken out of our budget, I just remember for like a month or two, you guys were like, "Hey dude, it sucks. The city's stupid. I don't know what they're doing," and stuff like that. So it's good to have your guys' support as well. And we know we're all on the same page. Like, we don't like dealing with the same calls, but it's cool to talk about it with you guys as well.
Yeah, you guys are out.
Well, thank you.
We know.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
Straight up, yeah. No, I mean, really, like Brian said, it's that same team. And
Absolutely.
it's red or blue. Who gives a shit about color?
Oh God, I just had an image of Doug just.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen both of his episodes. Yeah, he makes. Yeah,
As soon as he said red and blue, I was like, Ugh.
No.
My bad.
Yeah. No, but it's, yeah. And I feel the same way about you guys because it's, whenever we need you, you're there. And I've had those calls
We
where
might be
it's like,
late, but we're good.
Yeah, we're
Well-
trying to get there.
Same for us. If you need an ambulance, it may be coming from across the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I've had those calls where it's been, you get dispatched on a shorter breath, and we show up, and then it is not that at all, and it's like, hey, dispatch, we need
Help
now,
Yeah.
and it's, you guys are right there, so, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
So, well, thank you.
Yeah.
No, appreciate everything you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll end it the same way we end every episode.
Wait.
Oh.
What did you want?
I get
Close-
I get closing thoughts.
You get closing thoughts
We'll
too?
give you the final thought.
Yeah.
Something I liked about today's episode,
Mhm.
if for those listening to it, maybe resources aren't always the best, but I thought Blome did a good example of showing something that we could do on our own to just one simple thing, and it was the example you give of taking your uniform off before you go home and using that time in the walk to your truck to just start to slow down and turn that switch off. I thought that was great advice. Just for any officer, it doesn't take money, it doesn't take time, it doesn't take, anything other than just mind over matter, making it a routine, making it a habit. I thought it was a great example.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Thank you for that insight, James.
Hey, look, see, I actually said something productive in my final thoughts today.
You did. I'll tell you what. As a reward, how about you close out the
No,
show?
whoa. Let's not break routine here.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for stopping by. If you know somebody that is struggling, reach out. Let them know you care. Let them know what resources are out there. If you are struggling, reach out. There are resources. You are not alone. So thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.